Alright, hey everybody, it's Antagonist Kim, and we're back with more Disco Elysium. So, last episode was kind of a runaround episode. It might be the same for this one. I kind of looked online to see what I need, not necessarily spoilery, but to see, like, what needs to be progressed, and I guess a lot of folks are kind of having a situation that I had where certain roles, if you don't get, you're kind of stuck until a following day situation, so I'm going to continue to look and see if there's anything I've missed. Last episode, let me think about this here. Oh boy. We mainly, the biggest story changer, I think, is we talked to Idiot Doom Spiral again. Had a few more other dialogue options with them. But other than that, I mean, nothing really too crazy except looking around, trying other dice rolls and things like that to see if we got anything. So, there's maybe a short episode. I might cut to the following day, day 6, if I can pass the time enough and see what we're gonna do with that. So, alright, let's just, I guess, go for it. Oh boy, please shift? Okay, there we go. I don't think we've really double-checked everything over here. I think we've talked everything with him.
Oh, look. It's the cop who turned me into a bad person.
Yeah, we did try this one and failed. I guess we could check on our book, too, because I feel like a lot of this is find the special passage into the Whirling Rags, which is that blue door. We kind of messed with that last time and didn't really get far. Who made the call? Still kind of in search of that. The victim's tattoos, I feel like we've asked quite a number of people to see where this could go. Unfortunately, the big buff guy by the strikers, the Wild Pine Strike people, we could maybe try forcing his thing again. I know our inner monologue was saying don't let him finish it because he was describing obviously very horrible things. We've asked about the armor. That still hasn't been knocked off the list, even though we know who the armor belonged to, essentially. We can't get the Hangman's boots because the body's already gone. The Hardy one is something we need an authority check for, which unfortunately we don't have. We talked a little more with the Ravers in the tent to see kind of if we could get further with them. Got a little further with Egghead, but the rest still have the same dialogue. Acel, same thing. Suna, we need a check for her to try again. So, I think I'm just going to, I guess, tab everything and see if we can't discover any other things, any new options. I know we have a few new perception checks and stuff where we've discovered new things, which is nice. But that doesn't quite help us all that much in the here and now. So I know that there's this. I think we've done all the dialogue options for that. So let's maybe try this one more time. I don't think we did this last time.
A lorry abandoned by its owner, stuck in the interminable traffic jam.
Alright, let's open the door.
The smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered with old movie posters. Actresses smile from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front and a toolbox tucked under the driver's seat. Some tools lie scattered near the pedals.
Alright.
There's something odd about the passenger seat. The seating fabric has been pulled tight over the lower side of the seat where the toolbox should be.
Ooh, okay, so this... Nice. Okay, so this is new. Peel off the cover of the passenger seat.
Voila. A stack of neatly folded papers has been stashed behind the seating fabric. You see 3 maps depicting a large metropolitan area. It's Revachol. Some of its routes and highways have been outlined with a pen.
Okay, so this is... Damn, okay, perfect. So I guess we're just gonna look at every single dang thing because I haven't checked this in a long time, so...
Bonne prise.
The lieutenant commends you as you shift through the treasure, well worn and folded into the seat squares. Fold open the topmost map.
This large map displays the elevated motorway called 881. The intake leading to Martinez is marked with a blue X. There's another X on the off-ramp at a place called the Old South.
Okay.
Toll booths at the intakes are marked with a circle. It looks like there are scant few ways of getting onto the elevated motorway that runs over Jamrock, and this person knows them all.
Right, and if I remember right, we have a final member of the Hardy Boys, which we believe is a female, that is maybe in charge of this.
There, hundreds of thousands of motor carriages roar on the 881. High above the mass of brown and red roofs, that is Jamrock. The commuters don't even look down. The world ceases to exist outside the windshield.
All right, where does this road lead to?
to Kuron, through the middle-income neighborhoods there, by the river, and then to Stella Maris and La Delta for work, while the men and women of Jamrock scuttle to their fates below the road.
Okay, what about the second map?
This municipal map from the 30s displays a complex system of storm sewers underneath a sub-district called the POX, Old Military Hospital, right adjacent to the 41st Precinct.
Now, I don't know if this is near... it wasn't last episode, but the episode before that, our character walked past one of like the sewer grates by the canal area and said, oh, looks like there's something down there, but then when we approached it, there wasn't really any other interaction, so maybe this will unlock new stuff?
No storm will ever drown Revachol, the great solution to the riddle of history.
All right, let's look at the third map.
The final map displays a labyrinth of service tunnels left over from the construction of Motorway 881. A few routes have been marked with a pen, where the tunnels and sewers surface near the eminent domain and a traffic island in central Jamrock by the lake. These service tunnels were probably used during the construction of the foundation beneath the motorway.
Sorry, guys. The dog's barking at something.
Looks like the smugglers have infiltrated the road network belonging to East Motor Tract.
Okay, so the smugglers have infiltrated the motor track then.
So it would seem.
Lieutenant examines the map with a furrowed brow.
The RCM patrols most of these auxiliary roads, though apparently not all of them.
Where does this contraband usually end up?
Hard to say. This distribution network looks certainly large, yet still vague enough. It doesn't reveal much about the Besmerti behind it.
Besmerti sounds familiar?
The Besmerti is a Revacholian crime syndicate. They see themselves as the inheritors of the 14 Revacholian Indo-tribes, but really they're just violent gangs vying for control on the west side of Revachol. With cool names like La Puta Madre and Aura Masta, it's a dark parody.
And who do we think is behind this?
It's definitely not the Union. They just do some logistics. This operation has spread everywhere in Jamrock. If it's that widespread, then Madre remains the most likely suspect.
Okay.
Here's bad news. There have been attempts at a serious investigation before, but they haven't ended well for those involved.
Okay.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi is a brave man for saying Madre's name without the winces and whispers that usually accompany it.
Alright, return the stack of papers under the seat.
Best not to disturb the scene. I'll have forensics go over the lorry and pick these up later.
Okay.
The stack of maps looks just like before, barely noticeable. The movie stars look silently by, and the pull-out toolbox has a rubber handle, worn from years of use.
Okay, nothing else new from this. At least I don't think there is. Let's
These
double check.
are movie posters featuring starlets from long-forgotten films from the 20s, the teens, even the 90s of the last century. One of them particularly catches your eye, a centerfold of an ingenue attached right above the back seat. There's definitely perfume in the air. It's spicy, with a hint of amberette, wafting through the bitter air of the cabin.
Okay, stop and wonder what's that smell?
The remnants of a sweet juniper-scented perfume, probably Grenade No. 5.
Alright, let's study it.
The actress is draped in a sheathed dress, one of her shoulders bared. The faded remains of an autograph run across the poster. She's looking past the camera. This is Tip Tijon, a starlet from the dawn of cinematography, less known for her talent than her tragic, untimely death.
Alright, and what happened to her?
She wasted away in a drug den called the Door to the River, not far from here on Boogie Street, a mixture of cocaine and morphine. She was afraid of the world, and the camera, too.
Alright, got it.
The actresses and the rear actor all smile you a warm goodbye. A radio transmitter is attached to the dashboard, and a toolbox sits under the driver's seat.
Alright, I might speed through some of these. I just want to see if there's other
Looks
options.
like the frequency dial is absent. It requires a key to work, but the key has been removed, likely by the missing lady driver.
Strange. There are so many radio stations saved here. Must be over 100 at least.
It has to be an advanced model to fit so many frequencies next to each other without blending them together.
Okay, these are all new. Okay, good. Why would anyone need so many radio stations? Is there anything we can do with the radio? Oh, let's try this one first.
For contacting an entire fleet of lorrymen, for example. This is all shortwave, UW and UKV. Looks like we are dealing with an impressive organizational tool. The nerve center of a huge operation, with quite a range too.
A 20-kilometer radius at least, perhaps extended by an attachable antenna that's not here right now.
Alright, is there anything we can do with this radio?
Doesn't look like it. It's completely inoperable without a dial key.
What else is here?
The ghostly actresses and the
Okay,
rusty
let's check the
toolbox. You
pedals.
wedge yourself under the steering wheel to get a better look. Seems like the few tools lying around here, a hammer, a pair of pliers, a rusty wrench, have been casually thrown there by the disorganized driver. But one odd detail does catch your eye. A piece of sandpaper has been glued to the throttle.
Right, we remember this.
Sandpaper adds extra grip.
Alright, it looks like the driver has glued a piece of sandpaper to the throttle to offer some grip.
Sandpaper? A novel technique?
The sandpaper would also rub off the pattern from the driver's right boot sole.
Yes?
He likes where this is going.
Do the honors, he thinks. Connect it yourself.
Obviously, one of the footprints at the crime scene had an aberration. One sole was smoother than the other.
Which means that the missing lady driver was present at the lynching.
The lieutenant's eyes light up from behind his prescription lens. Nice. So, I don't know if it's because we're interfacing is improved because of what we're wearing, or, like I said, some of these checks that we give ourselves or the upgrades do change everything. Which, I mean, this is good. This is new content for me and for you guys. So I'm excited about this, but I feel like if you don't pick the right upgrade, what is it going to give you? Are you just going to walk around and just redo everything? I don't know. Wait. Oh, the missing 8th Hardy here?
Looks like her, yes.
And she's also the one running the drug trade. What a handful.
Now we know for certain who's the missing 8th person at the lynching. Do you think that Hardy and his boys could also be involved in the drug operation?
Obviously, those jerks definitely. I think the entire union's involved. Maybe even all of Martinez looks around suspiciously. Not necessarily the lady driver could have kept the drug trade secret. This would fit what Joyce told us, but I don't want to make any assumptions. I mean, Joyce did say that. But I mean, those jerks definitely could have a thing. Although with the way they're all connected to Everard, including the civilians, it wouldn't be surprise me if it was them too. This would fit the assumptions.
Understood. We should still go and see what Titus has got to say on the matter. Are we finished with the lorry?
He writes something down in his little notebook.
The movie stars are still smiling from the walls. The radio transmitter sits on the center console,
All right,
and a faint smell of perfume is in the air.
We'll pull out the toolbox one more time.
A metallic drawer slides out from the seat.
Unfold.
It's empty, except for a folded newspaper.
Let's unfold the paper.
It's an issue of Périphérique from last Wednesday. A piece of paper falls out from its pages.
Right, pick up the note.
It looks like an article ripped out from a radio enthusiast magazine. Complex mathematical equations explain the basics of something called the ULAN frequency system.
Okay.
The ULAN frequency system? I've never heard of that before. I know of FM, AM, UKV, but...
His thoughts trail off. Okay.
A pull-out toolbox slides back and close the rusty old lorry.
Alright, so that's great. So we might have a new option with what's his name. Let's just double check. So if we use tab, is there anything else over here that we're missing? I know we have her. I feel like we've spoken to her already, and it's kind of a dead end with that. We can try one more time.
Lowman, you caught me at an opportune moment. This awful weather keeps me awake. You can entertain me with your questions.
What are you hauling?
Diamonds?
Really?
Of course not. But wouldn't it be marvelous if I was?
Okay, but what are you really hauling?
Whatever stupid things they put in the lorry, I imagine.
So you don't know what it is you're hauling?
I quit concerning myself with that a long time ago. Besides, I don't drive the lorry for the cargo, if you know what I mean.
What if it's contraband, though?
Then it's contraband, Lowman. What? Do you want to take an old woman in? Be my guest. Lock me away like Bad Hand Hermenegildo.
Bad Hand, Hermenegildos' bad hand, strangled 300 people. What can I say? Some people just really like strangling people.
Now, I wish this unlocked other dialogue, but when we were talking to Joyce about the Pale, our character made an assertion about maybe the Lori woman is similar, where she's been in the Pale too many times. I want to see if this option unlocks a few other things. Before I came, you seemed away.
She's just a distracted old woman. We should maybe let her get back to her things.
You hear that, Loman? I don't think your partner likes you spending too much time with me.
So there's a couple things here. It looks like there's stuff. Should you drive a lorry if you get like that?
Oh, don't worry about me. I'm one of the best camioners around. I drive routes no one else will.
What routes?
Lomonosov's Land, Udashnaya Zemlya, the Western Plain,
She nods and closes her eyes again, letting her mind submerge.
the Transcatolia Magistral, U41A, Adestradas du Mirador, all the good ones, the deep trenches, where the bluebirds fly.
She opens her eyes again and shudders. I'm something of an expert in blacking out. You should take care of yourself.
You're right, Loman. I'm the one who should take my health more seriously. Thank you for looking out for me.
A correct appraisal. You're quite shabby.
Is that
Nice.
all you woke me up to say?
Oh, see, this is what I was talking about. I think I know what's actually going on with you.
And what is that?
She sticks a filterless cigarette into a cigarette holder and reaches for the light. You're a Pale driver. You transport goods through the Pale.
Great. He asked the Pines rep about the Pale, and now he's talking to everyone about it.
See, this is what I wanted, though, Kim.
Fine then. Just try not to black out again, and don't contemplate. We don't have time for that.
It's death. But for the universe, oh, we're contemplating the living shit out of this.
Oh, I'm contemplating, Kim. I'm drawing existential conclusions from this. Yeah, no, just for detective work. That's all I needed it for, now. Everything is related to the Pale. My condition, the case, everything. That's all, anthropomantic. Let's do 2. Yeah, no, just for detective work. That's all I needed this for.
That is exactly what I didn't want you to do. Ma'am, my partner wanted to know if you work in Pale Transport.
No offense. But your partner?
She lights a cigarette. A white and silver cloud disappears into her mouth.
Seems like a bit of an idiot.
She breathes out. The air tastes sweet.
Republica. A filterless cigarette from Misk.
Republica, smell the air. That's not very healthy. I blacked out after a night of heavy drinking and lost all my memory of the world. I blacked out from sheer heartbreak and lost all memory of the world. I'm not an idiot. I'm a detective of the RCM. Don't say I'm an idiot. I mean, I know it was the alcohol, but the heartbreak led us to the alcohol, which led us to the blackout.
Like Gabriel Buenguerro in Segúreme, Paraíso. You're the opposite of me, then. I remember everything, even the things I never knew.
Things you never knew?
The smell of liquor on Gabriel's lips after the shoot. In the motor park. The roses on the day of Franco Negro's coronation. On the grand stairs of Ryle. The smoke from the Fowling piece when Dolores Day was shot. The look on her face, like an orgasm. The wound in her chest. My hand in my father's hand. Except I never had a father. And I never shot her innocence Dolores Day.
Isn't that dangerous?
Thought insertion? Dithering? The Grad Catala Magistral? It's more than dangerous. It's sad. But at first I had to make a living. Now, when you've seen it all go away like that, rolling off like the sea, and then come back to this?
She gestures at the square, the broken horse monument, the clanging of machines in the distance.
What are we doing here? For thousands of years, Gabriel. It doesn't have to be like this. We can just give up. We can just become a vapor.
But what does it look like, the Pale? What does that feel like? How do you pass through it? One last thing. You said you can just become vapor? But what does that look like, the pail?
Like looking into the ocean at night, in the dark.
And?
You cannot see it, but you know it's there. And it's big, bigger than anything. Bigger than all the other things combined.
Right, but how does it feel, though?
Nothing. Until it starts. When you are deep enough. Then, for me, it's like autumn. Dark, gray, and orange. The orange of street lights and the color of streets in the electric light. It smells like autumn too. It smells terrible.
Nostalgia. Cooped up in the cabin, shaking. Terrible nostalgia. For yourself. For humans. It's too much to bear. She loves it.
Right, but how do you pass through it?
In the belly of an airship, behind the cell windows. So you don't look straight into it. It's not advised to look into it.
Not on this lorry, then?
No, the same one, a roller. They all are nowadays. Special wheels for connecting to the floor of the hold.
She points to the machine, clumped up like toys.
The wheels all small and round. Multi-axle trailers.
Right, so one last thing, but you're saying you can become vapor?
Yes.
Okay.
No elaboration.
I would rather have what I have than what you have. I would rather have what you have than what I have. I feel I already have what you have in some way. I mean, I think everyone kind of does, right? The pale, all these other euphemisms to, like, happiness, despair, grief, all that, right? That's what I feel like I'm getting from this. I already feel I have what you have in some way.
They say there is a point. One that I have not crossed. In the Pale, super deep. If you stray too far, of course, on the U41A, or in Lomonosov's land, where every step you take is one step further from home, no matter the direction. It's a point you cannot come back from. Your mind becomes so radiant with the past, there is a flip. Instead of writing, it erases memory, nearing some kind of indescribable finale. Maybe you've been down the motorway south?
She looks at her cigarette. It's almost out. She has swallowed it hungrily, and then at you. The motorway south?
It's a story as lone horsemen tell. Lone horsemen, Jerife, not Pale drivers. Way beyond the established Pale that's lit by radio frequencies, where it goes silent and dark, and the process begins, erasure, kilometer by kilometer, in any direction. The motorway south is a road you cannot come back from.
What is the end at the motorway south?
No one knows what's at the end. I've only glimpsed the beginning.
Hold on. Oh, she takes a cigarette out of the cigarette holder and extinguishes it.
I've only felt it in the distance, when I was a child. A child rowing on the lake.
She goes silent, her eyes close, and her hands shake. Ma'am?
Josiana.
A sigh escapes her lips in silence, and she stares within herself.
There is nothing more to do now. She's far away. She is receding in the clutches of some indescribable scattered emotion. The child descending.
Okay.
You've fried both your brains enough for today, detective.
He inspects her with no response.
Let's get some air. This one's far gone.
He shakes his head silently as he turns to leave. I mean, that's great, though. And we have a new little thingy, but we don't have a way to internalize this. I wish I didn't need one of these points to be able to forget something and retry something. You know what I mean? I don't know. Alright, is there anything else in this general area we can interact with? Doesn't look like it. Okay, let's keep checking this back end. Apparently there's things I've missed. It's like all back here. Is there anything back here? If we walk kind of closer to stuff? No? Over here? No. Like I said, I might try the other, the big guy over here again. Hold on. Let's check this out again.
A lorry stuck in the traffic jam. This big, heavy Grad-made machine is well kept for such an old machine.
Let's look in the window.
The windows are clear. They've been recently washed. You can see a lorryman's cabin with personal belongings, stickers, insignia. Fumes of heavy fuel oil waft over you, making your eyes sting. The odor mixes with cigarette residue.
What kind of stickers and insignia?
The driver has adorned his space with a substantial collection of peculiar paraphernalia. Proclamations about honor, strength, and purity are glued to various panels. A large metal pendant hangs from the rear view mirror. The pendant features a sun crowned with wavy rays. It is the seal of Royalist-era Revachol.
Okay, and what about the back seat?
The back end of the cabin has a small perch to sleep, large ashtrays. There are several suns and wheels sewn into the curtains. A book with ragged edges catches your notice. The front cover features a large, muscular man. The title reads, Man from Eamdal in the Lost City of the Pygmies.
I don't remember which book we needed next, but we did read a couple of the Heimdall books to pass time.
Racist nationalist paraphernalia. Not unusual in this part of town. This is our guy.
The lieutenant nods towards the racist lorry driver. The big guy, I think, running the thing, right? You think this lorry belongs to our tough guy? Oh no, the big guy up here.
Likely, yes. This guy's proud of who he is. Drapes it all over his machine.
Okay, let's leave. There wasn't anything new with that, but it was good to refresh our minds. I'm wondering if we should talk to him again, or if we should try talking to, let's see if the Hardy boy has anything, but we'll come back to this in a second. I thought they meant this one, but I mean, he could be considered the big guy. I don't know. But he seems like more of a racist than the other guy does. I think the other guy just wants to cause trouble to get everyone in a spot for the, you-know-what.
It's you again. What is it?
Okay. I'm just gonna walk away. I thought having searched that lorry van again, it would pop up with something, because they mentioned we should have asked him. I don't think Lizzie has anything new. She just doesn't want to talk to us, period. So, let's go back to the buff guy. Maybe... Well, no, I think he didn't have anything new either. I guess we could ask him real quick.
Looking for something?
What was that argument all about?
It's about biological determinism, natural law, the sorting of the races.
He spits on the ground.
Not the most popular topic nowadays, with the coalition in charge and all. You might want to change the topic. That is, bury your head under the sand like common sheep.
To be honest, I can't really remember what that means. Please explain. I get it, someone has to be the unpopular guy. On second thought, let's talk about something else. Let's have him explain. Let's see if we can get some more points for ourselves.
People who've studied these things say that you and me are superior by design. So, naturally, we Occidentals should be in charge. Obviously, you can see the merits in that.
Race is a simplistic means of social classification based on easily observed attributes, hunches, and pseudoscience.
Okay, you just look at people and make arbitrary judgments. Okay, what else have you thought up? Yeah, I can really tell you're a prime example of superior design. I mean, are you really okay to make arbitrary judgments?
The lieutenant tries to remain impassive, but the slight arch of his eyebrow tells you that he's liking it.
Nice.
As arbitrary as any judgment, that doesn't make it less of a fact. We all have to use facts. Once you accept it, you'll gain the clarity of understanding.
He is comfortable reciting these thoughts. He's spent quite a lot of time meditating on the subject.
Okay, so then what else have you thought up then, or...
So, lately we Occidentals have experienced an unfortunate downturn when members of the superior race cease to believe in their innate superiority. They stop competing for resources.
Yeah, so what's the problem with that again?
The problem? The damn Kips are showing a real good game lately. Same with the mosquitoes. And the other intruders species too. They're on the precipice of cultural victory.
Uh-huh.
Cultural victory? What is this then?
Okay, so what is this about cultural victory?
It's what the kips of Boogie Street are going for, right under our noses. And the others too, on the radio. Heard any chansons lately? Heard any mojitos or leader? No. Dominating culture is how they plan to win. They say so themselves.
Uh-huh.
It's true. Also, you need to realize the dangers of mixing races. Who knows what might happen if people don't stay in their birthplace? You might end up with a new subrace, with unknown characteristics, leading to extra competition. That's why you've got to control the offspring.
Right. Okay, sure, whatever. I'd really rather talk about something else. Yeah, I'm not really down with this. Kim isn't down with it either, so you can go F yourself, buddy.
Don't push your luck, Runt.
Whatever. He gives you a disgruntled look, turns his attention elsewhere, ignoring your presence. Yeah, you're kind of a butthole, my guy. We're gonna ignore the fact that you just are an a-hole. This is our next stop. I'm almost... Well, we'll try. Or maybe we'll save it for next time. Well, we'll try it. Let's see if we can get any more out of him.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you!
Because I know there were other options that we had, but our internal monologue was like, do you really want to keep going? Let's see. What are all these strike breakers? Look around. What is a strike? Let's try from the top. Are you a mercenary hired by Wild Pines?
Hell no. I'm just an honest scab. I won't have talk like that around here. You understand?
It just has to be said. That was not a convincing line.
I think we've done this one. Honestly, that didn't sound too convincing, my dude.
Fucking loincloth.
He stares you down mutely for a second.
Loincloth? Now you see, that's not really what a scab would say, is it? Better not to press the issue further, sire. He seems tense. The man's breathing steadies, but his eyes are still narrow. Slowly, he's trying to get his right-to-work dance back on.
What is the strike?
When a bunch of ungrateful, lazy cockroaches can't get their act together, decide to block honest work for other people.
He shifts uncomfortably in his worker's overalls. What do the strikers want?
Beats me. They mumble nonsense about boardrooms and workers' rights, while we have the right to work!
Right.
There's something odd in the way he carries himself. His set of clothing looks vaguely mismatched. The different pieces of the attire seem ill-fitting.
Ill-fitting. Let's continue this thought. I know we've done it, but I want to see if there's any other choices we had.
His shirt is far too small and an unpleasantly tight fit, while the overalls, held up by a belt, seem to fit a man with much more corpulence.
Right. You mean you're wearing new clothes?
He ignores your question, choosing instead to turn to the emaciated workers, raising both fists in the air. The clothes are obviously not his. Silence is the answer. There's something off here, but he won't say what.
All right, let's see what it is. Who are these strike breakers?
Honest men and women with rights to work, to be useful, not toys for corporate interests.
The man runs a hand through his steadily graying military haircut.
We came here to help the harbor run smoothly in time of crisis. If union fucks don't want work, they ought to let in those who do want work.
I have a question. Why do all these men follow your leadership?
You think they follow because I'm big and loud? No. They follow the rules of the market, the rules of the economy, because they were given a job to do!
So what exactly is your goal here?
We were promised work. We'd be in there, working, if the bastards hadn't shut the gates.
And you're unable to breach the entrance?
Main gate's locked. Would take heavy ordnance to bust it open. Could try to get in through the secretary's office. Door's locked. The guard's blocking the way to the access panel. And I don't mean the scrawny mess punk either. I mean head measurer. Or whatever he is.
Right, but have you considered storming in, like all of you?
Why don't you go arrest them instead? I'm sure they've done plenty of criminal shit. They have that look.
It would be better for the neighborhood if you went home, at least for now, if you can't get in anyway.
No! They will give up eventually. Or get drunk. Leave the button unguarded. Then we charge.
The man rubs his jaw, a perfect, lightly bearded square wedge.
He seems to be following his orders well enough for now. But beneath it all, there is a boiling rage and a dangerous carelessness. Do not be fooled by the programming. There is a precarious balance inside him, keeping him in check. But it's shaky as hell, and he's tired of it all.
Okay. Well, I mean, that didn't really get us much anywhere. We talked to Mignana and Measurehead, I think, last time. I could try Mignana one more time, but I think, well, I've been trying to make these about 40 minutes, so let's see if we can get anything else out of Mignana here. I probably won't do Measurehead again. I know we kind of went into the secretary's office. We talked to Everard Clare. And I don't believe he had anything new. We've gotten a couple points, but not much. Yeah, we're at 80. So I think we only gained 5. God, that's awful. Let's keep going. I'd like to see if we can investigate more things. Hopefully unlock other opportunities. I don't think anything else popped up in our stuff except for the internalized monologue thing.
Hola, Wandering Man. How can I help you?
Actually, do you know anything about the Hardy Boys?
Los Ardis? They're an independent militant group. A bit too high-strung, but it comes with the responsibility. They're sort of like you. Preserve the rule of law and all that. Except it's Everard's law. But really, they're just like you.
Is he actually comparing you, an officer of the law, to some neighborhood vigilantes? Come on. He's just trying to keep the peace. The man whispers a jaunty tune. A coastal breeze ruffles his hair.
What are you striking?
We're negotiating our share.
Your share?
Aye.
So, wait, not wages or pensions, or
This stuff. They already covered.
shouldn't you be grateful then? It's a lot more than most people already have.
Never grateful. Were we ever grateful, we'd have nothing. You fight for every piece.
But how large of a share are you guys looking for?
All of it. However, right now we want all the harbor workers to be on the company's board, so they could take part in the decision-making process.
Which makes sense. I get
This
that.
seditious talk sounds like communism. Just so we're on the same page, communism is basically wanting to kill the rich people or deporting them to a labor camp in Southeast Grad. But don't say that out loud if you're a communist.
So, the boss man Everard, what can you tell me about him?
I think it's best you make up your own mind now that you've met him. In my eyes, he is a capable organizer and a decent businessman.
Right, but why does bossing the union entail anything?
I guess you kind of get to be the village chief. He oversees the harbor, makes deals with the owners or other relevant parties, watches out for his own.
By that, you mean corruption?
By heavens, why would he not be corrupt? We live in a harsh and disordered world, see? And in this world, the old man is corrupt for our benefit, and we know it. Appreciate it even. He is, personally, not too lavish.
Right, but his desk seemed pretty lavish to me.
He is reasonably lavish, sure. That's his prerogative. It's not like you want a saintly demeanor on a corrupt motherfucker. That would be a manipulative illusion.
Which is literally what he is.
Besides, there are no non-corrupt systems in the world anyway. And moralism is the most corrupt of them all.
Not you would like to say. But then there's that weasel door. This man has political theory, and it has not failed him today.
Right, you seem to have spent a lot of time thinking about the political situation.
Sure, I've had the necessary free time. Fortunately, there's always time.
The look in his brown eyes conjures up an understanding. For him, having command of his time is the most important thing.
Okay.
It all comes together now. The way he speaks about scabs, his general attitude. He's a follower of a 500-year-old Franco-Nigerian Boyadero code, itself an appropriation of Vespertine cool. That of a noble peasant or a traveling herdsman. True to yourself, independent in your actions, loyal to your friends.
I mean, it doesn't sound that cool. It doesn't sound very disco.
The man sits on the railing, his hands reaching far and wide. Yet it feels as if he could effortlessly go even wider, if need be, an endless torrent of time.
Alright. Okay. Well, we have some kind of new content for this episode, so I don't feel completely like I wasted time just looking around for nothing. I think we're gonna make our way around more so to this part, although one last thing I want to check. Can we just breach this door right here with our tool? No? Is there stuff here I can look at? No. Alright, well, I might just end the episode here. We're gonna kind of do some more deep diving into some other dialogue, hopefully, and gain the points we need to do another upgrade. I know some of the stuff we could, I guess that we could drink and other stuff like that for boosts, but here's the thing though, it doesn't really give us points. You know what I mean? It just gives us like a boost in certain things, which would help, but not completely help. I don't know. I'm at an impasse right now. We'll see. We're gonna keep looking around. We found new stuff just by kind of looking at things we thought we had already completed. Hopefully we get enough points to do another upgrade, and we'll decide from there what we want to use it on. I feel like Suna in the Ravers is still a good one to try and pass. So guys, thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.